just some books and also mangas that I hope to read this week. Let's go! Hey, welcome back to a very new vlog. But if you're new here, my name's Katja, and on this channel I talk mostly about K-pop, mangas, books, language studies if I have the time, and I didn't have much time this year, and that's okay. But however, I'm not gonna lie, the last few weeks I just simply didn't make the time. I could if I would, but for some reason. And then there is a loud tractor in front of my house. Why? This was my best take yet. I'm just gonna leave it in here because I'm fed up. Also, something that I wanted to point out, I have a lot of redness in my face. So if you're like, wait, she looks different if you're not new here. Well, I forgot to drink water a lot the last few days. So this is your reminder to be kind to yourself. Don't forget to drink your water. And also it's fine if you don't have the time or want to make time for your language studies, because sometimes other things are more important. So a little wisdom here for you. Anyway, so this week we've got the new release of Sserafim with their song, let's have a look, Perfect Night. We already heard quite a few snippets online, and it is their collab with Overwatch. I'm excited despite that it is a collab with like a gaming brand. Not that that has anything to do with it, but I mean more like it's not a new comeback, a bigger comeback. But then again, I'm not gonna lie, they put in so much work for just this song, so I am excited what they are up to. Also, I'm curious when they are gonna come back. Why are there so many noises outside? Is that the tractor? Yes, it is. Tractor is gone, but now there are a whole lot of dogs barking outside and I just can't. So I'm just gonna talk about the things I love in life and hope to get through this day, basically. Anyway, yeah, I'm super excited for the Sserafim song, even though it's not a mini album or album. Like, I mean, the girls are still, or did they just came back from tour? I mean, there has been a lot of changes due to the fact that the girls have been on some sort of hiatus due to the fact that 3 of the girls got influenza and Chaewon is still not recovered from it. So yeah, I don't know, but they have a lot of on their plate, and I'm already so freaking happy with the Lennifer's episodes. They look so good. I cannot wait for tomorrow to watch the second and third one of the, what is it called? It's with the cameras, what they're currently doing. Now wait a few more days till the single's out, but that day also Taylor Swift is coming out with Taylor's version of 1989. So yeah, I'm happy. I get an album. Anyway, so that's good. Talking about albums, I ordered Stray Kids albums. Yes, albums, plural. Okay, so I always say that I only get one version of whatever what they're doing, and this time I was like, I don't know, I want to do a little bit more just because rock is completely my style. So if you didn't know yet, Stray Kids is gonna come out with a rock album, and yeah, I love rock. It's definitely my favorite genre, I think. Is it? Yeah, I think so. It's just the sound that always gets me hyped, and I can't even speak because I'm so freaking excited for the 10th of November when that album comes out, and it's the only nice thing to look forward to on that day because I'm also have a dentist appointment that day. So yeah, I'm doing great. Anyway, so I bought 2 albums, the limited version and also the Bangchan version, just because I'm excited. I was deciding if I wanted to also have the normal edition, the 2 normal, but then again I was like, yeah, but the reason why I want to get it is because I want to see Bangchan in multiple concept. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna get the limited edition and then also his version, with the big hopes that I'm also getting his PC in there. And yeah, I'm just excited. I'm just thinking, is there more music related stuff? I don't think so as of right now. I mean, we're just waiting until they officially announce that Blackpink has signed a contract or not, or gonna disband or not. I don't think so. I thought for a fair long time that they were gonna disband, but at this moment I think they are seriously wanting to stay together, but they are definitely talking about certain points in their contracts, and that takes basically all their time. So let's talk books, because that's it all for the music. The other music stuff will come out on Friday, so we'll talk about that then. Right now, I want to talk about the Society for Soulless Girls. I've been reading this book for the past few days, but actually not really reading it. I've been listening to it. So the first 8 chapters, I believe, I was reading it while I was to Düsseldorf, or came back from Düsseldorf in the train to the Netherlands, and I was very gripped immediately. But then I had to stop reading because I had some things to read for work. Because if you didn't know yet, I work as a manuscript reader. That's one of my many jobs. I own my own company and I get hired by different companies to do stuff for them, like editing, but also marketing and reading, which is so much fun. Not this book. This was not a read for for a publisher. Well, actually, who knows? It can happen. Sometimes it happens actually that I'm reading a book and that I get a call from some publisher and that they're like, hey, have you read this book? Do you think it's good? Should we publish it? And it happens like a couple of times. Not too many, but sometimes it happens. Basically, they are then asking if it's a good fit for them to translate it to Dutch, which is my native language, if you didn't know yet. So here you go. The book I'm talking about is The Society for Soulless Girls by Laura Steven. It's gorgeous. I actually just finished it by earphones because I was not actually reading it, like I just said. And I thought it was good. It was definitely a bit different than I expected it. And although I think it's good, there were a couple of plot points that I was like, wait, where was this actually going? Or I thought it was weird how they handled it. So there's one point, okay, so trigger warning, it deals with death a lot. It's, well, I mean, if you didn't got that from the title of this book, then I don't know what to tell you. But in this book, there is, at a certain point, there is a death, and then they say it's a suicide. But nothing really happens. Like, yeah, the police comes, but they also go. And what happens after that, it doesn't say. So I'm like so confused about that still, even after I finished it. Like, what's going on now? And yeah, I wish that was a little bit better done. Also, the characters, like, there's a good build up, I think, between the roommates, the 2 main characters. So you have like this girl Lottie, and then the girl, I'm so bad with names, I know, it's Alice. I just want to say I knew it started with an A, but then I went blank. I like their build up as characters. It's very fast. It's not like your typical fantasy that you go and build these characters. No, it's like literally you get the information and then you immediately start going into the story. But I'm fine with that. I mean, it's only like, how many pages? Oh, well, it's actually quite thick. It's over 400. But still, it's not that thick. I think the letters are also quite big, so I don't think it's actually 400 pages if you really have those fantasies with the small fonts. But other than the plot points that I was like, why is this not finished? I thought it was really good. I did wish, however, that they also came up, that she, the writer, would come up with the Society for Soulless Girls, because it has a meaning, and I wished that it was mentioned a little bit earlier in the story. So you could savor it a bit more as a reader. It's so hard to describe it because I don't want to spoil the book for y'all, because there are certain things that I didn't saw coming, and that makes it for me a 4 out of 5 stars, this book to me. So I don't want to say actually what's happening. Anyway, if you're looking for just a nice, easy read, but still you want this spooky vibes, I highly recommend this book to you. I am actually already starting in Laura Stephen, her next book that came after this one, and that's also more of a darker, spooky book. But I will tell you guys all about it when I am there in the next clip. It's Wednesday evening, and honestly guys, I'm too tired to watch Sserafim. Even though I love my girls, I need something else and no screen. So I am trying to pick a manga. It's not working really well. So I will update you guys tomorrow what I picked. It's the next day, and my choice yesterday landed on My Dress Up Darling with the German title More Than a Doll, that I actually think is more fitting. And now I'm gonna watch Lenny Fest in Hong Kong. It's Friday, so we all know what that means. Music day. But first things first, because yesterday evening it totally slipped my mind to talk about where My Dress Up Darling is about. I think it's due to the fact that it's a very popular story that I was like, well, whatever. But then again, I also realized not everyone reads mangas or is aware of this story. So let me go quickly over what this manga is about. And it's about Gojo. He is a traditional Japanese doll maker. I am reading it currently in German, so I have to translate in my head. Even though I did watch the manga, no, the anime. I watched the anime, which is so freaking cute, and it's one of the main reasons why I also want to read the manga. So Gojo, you can imagine he's more of a shy guy, he's not a popular guy, and Marin, the other main character, she is popular, but she's also pretty much an otaku. And she wants to cosplay, and it's quite a secret because even though she's out and proud about being an otaku, being also a cosplayer is maybe a bridge too far. And she really wants to make her own clothes, but she's a terrible dressmaker, so she definitely needs help. And this is where she knows about Gojo, and Gojo, of course, knows about her, but they meet at a certain point in the storyline, and they help each other out, actually. I don't know how to describe it, anything else like that, because it's not the typical storyline that they don't know about each other and then they meet. No, they know about each other, but there are some other things that they're playing with. At least that's where the anime is about. I think the manga is also exactly about that. But I didn't get too far yesterday, so yeah, still need to figure it out. Anyway, let's talk music. I am so freaking excited about Sserafim and their Overwatch crossover. It's still such a Seraphim song. It's very different from New Jeans with Gods, what they did with League of Legends. Even though I really like that song, it's not that I necessarily can hear it's New Jeans. It's not bad. I mean, it's totally fine because that song is so good. But I love that with Seraphim and their Overwatch crossover that they did make it still a Seraphim song. I would even love it if this song would be on their next comeback. Talking about comebacks, J1 is back with the group. I don't know if she's already with them in America. I've only seen the 4 of them because, well, if you didn't know, J1 is on hiatus due to the fact that she got influenza. And I read somewhere that she will be back on the 1st of November with all their other schedules. So we have to wait for that, but yeah, I'm happy that she feels better, even though, yeah, she won't be there in America. Which makes me so sad because this is their first different continent schedule, if I'm correct. Well, I also know that they were asked, or at least Sakura, for the Louis Vuitton Paris fashion show, but they couldn't do it because of filming. So, but now they finally get it. But I hope very soon that they will have a schedule with the 5 of them. Anyway, so I love that song. I won't go into depth into it because it's not an official comeback as in just the group. So let's go to the next one, and that is Taylor Swift, their new CD. The album just came in, the physical album. Ooh, hey, wait. It has a sticker on there that says that it's made in Germany. What? Huh, interesting. I actually noticed very recently when, well, not very recently, it was like in spring when I was in Berlin, that I saw when I went to the record store that there were more CDs with a sticker of Made in Germany in there. I mean, I think it's a good thing that they don't ship it all the way from America. Can I get this even open? Anyway, I will talk more about the Sserafim song later in the wrap up, about the details, what I think about the song. But as of right now, this is just it. I do love the music video that they made, and that it's such a fun crossover with definitely stalling time, as you can tell. But yeah, I think it's just so fun that they used animation of Overwatch together with just the real life looks and visuals of Sserafim. I also love it that we get a hint back of the Fearless music video in there. It makes it just so much fun. I'm also so freaking happy for Sakura, and also I don't know who else plays Overwatch, but definitely Sakura. I believe maybe Jinjin? Yeah, anyway. I'm so happy for them that they get to work with their favorite game. And why am I struggling this much? Why is this plastic so hard to get off? Oh god. Here we go. It's actually quite weird to me that we got 1989 Taylor's version right now, like in the middle of autumn. It feels a bit weird. I expected it, to be honest, to be released in spring, but I guess Taylor really wants to push all the Taylor versions out before the Eras tours ends, even though it will take a while. But if you want to space the timing out between every CD, I think it's smart. Ooh. I went for the deluxe edition, the sky blue version, I guess. I have, as of right now, listened to every song. And 1989 is one of my favorite records of her, next to Reputation. But do I have a favorite as of yet? Well, Welcome to New York and Blank Space will always be a forever favorite of mine. I cannot wait. Wait, is Blank Space on here? Yes, I just freaked out. Like I'm not a true Swiftie or anything. I will have a listen all weekend to this CD, but also, of course, the Sserafim comeback, and then we'll talk music later down in the wrap up of this video. On this lovely Saturday, I'm taking time to myself and also tidying up my room, and I do that by listening Every Exquisite Thing by Laura Stephen. I love listening to an audiobook while I'm cleaning, tidying up, or bullet journaling. 2 disclaimers. 1, if you hear something in the background, that's most likely the dryer that's going off. 2nd, I just showered and did my skincare routine, so that's why I look like a wet cat. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about Every Exquisite Thing by Laura Stephen, because I did not explain where the story is about, and to be quite frank with you guys, I'm still figuring it out myself, even though I am around 150 pages in the audiobook. Like, okay, I also have the physical copy, but when I saw that the audiobook was on my streaming platform that I use to listen to audiobooks, I was like, I'm gonna listen to it as an audiobook, because I love to listen to horror, spooky, and mystery novels as an audiobook. I don't know why, maybe because it's a very nice way to listen to a story build up. I don't know what I'm even saying. Okay, it just adds to the atmosphere of listening to a spooky book. So the book is about Penny Paxton. She's the daughter of a beloved icon, and she will do anything to continue her mother's legacy, which is so sad because she is actually such a different person than her mom that I'm like, why do you want to follow in her footsteps? And I have the feeling it's all because she really wants to be loved by her mother, and she will do everything and anything to stay beautiful, because she has the feeling that being beautiful is her identity and she doesn't want to lose it. So she basically is choosing to be immortal, and that's all thanks to the hands of a painter who, when he paints you, you will become immortal. It's not as easy as that sounds. There's a lot of more that comes with it. And I just read the part that happened, and I'm like, shook, because whoa, what is going on? And it's based on Dorian Gray, if I'm correct. The story of Dorian Gray. I have never read it. And to be honest, I also don't know much about it. Let's just say I don't know anything about it. So I might want to pick up some classics, because also the other book that I read by Laura Stephen, the one before I read this one, is also based on a classic, and she really makes me curious of how those stories go. And I think that's also the beauty by creating new literature, but still have some core values of classics, so those storylines will never get lost, because most likely a lot of people who read YA novels like this one also want to pick up. Well, is this a YA actually? I'm not entirely sure. Why am I so out of breath? That's not okay. Anyway, yeah, this is probably not entirely a YA because she is university age. But I think it's so much fun because this gets picked up probably mostly by younger people. And even though I studied philosophy, I also tend to not always want to pick up the classics, and a lot of times I prefer newer books. So, but this, thanks to writers like Laura Stephen, it wants me to pick up stuff that is, yeah, are the classics. Before I totally forget to mention it, during dinner I started watching One Piece, the live action version, and I'm in awe so far. Like, I did not know if I was gonna like it, because it is a pirate story, and even though I like a pirate story from time to time, I was like, One Piece is such a huge fan base, but also the storyline, it's so big. So I felt very overwhelmed to ever pick up the manga One Piece or even the anime. But due to the live action just started, it feels less overwhelming, and I actually gave it a shot, and so far I like it. I can totally see why it's so popular. I am curious though if the live action is just as popular as For example, the animation. I know there is a new fan base coming along with the live action, and I also totally see that. Welcome to the wrap up, which is a little bit delayed compared to the rest of the video, but that has to do with, well, life happened. I am probably gonna talk about it, but in a later video. Let's talk first music, comics and books because I have some thoughts. Starting off with Sserafim Perfect Night, I did a deep dive into their lyrics and I like the song even more. Some people say that it sounds too much like New Jeans because they are also in the same company, which I don't agree with, because if you actually look into the lyrics, I think it's very mature and it fits Sserafim better, and also most people thought it was just a new version of Impurities. Like, I won't say it's a sister song because the vibes of the song itself are very different, so I would say they are cousins, and I like that it fits their discography very well. Some people might say that Sserafim doesn't have a sound, a very well-known sound. In a way, I agree with it a little bit, but I think what Sserafim is also doing very well, they are still exploring their sound, and the topics that they discuss in the different sounds are very Sserafim, so I do think they know their story very well. However, they are just still experimenting, and I do think, however, that that fits their concept and them as a group very well, if that makes sense. Yeah, I really like it. However, this made me think that Sserafim probably does not have a comeback anymore this year, because they did so much promotion. They are still doing promotions for this song, and I'm like, they probably are not gonna have a comeback. It's probably like in 2024, which is fine because I am very much looking forward to the award shows, because last year they oh my god, I can't even find a word to describe how good they were. They did so many remixes, so many different dance styles. It was, I was floored, and I still love to watch those stages back. They are definitely my favorite stages of all time. Next to Stray Kids, I think they are also very good at redeveloping themselves, and I really like these groups. So let's talk Taylor Swift just for a little bit, because normally I only talk about K-pop. I'm not gonna lie, 1989 was always one of my favorite albums of her, but this time around, I don't know what it is, I still like it. But here's the thing, I'm not in this era anymore. That's just simply what I realized. I am on a different connection when it comes to this album. So I basically don't have the same feelings anymore, like when I listened again to Speak Now, Taylor's version, read Taylor's version. So I don't know what it is, but maybe I am just more in my folklore and Evermore era. I think that's just it. That's the point in life where I am right now. So this album hasn't hit as well. Also due to it just has a different concept, right? I just have feeling concepts. Like I'm talking about K-pop. Well, I mean, Western artists also have concepts, so it doesn't matter. But I think this is more a spring album to me. So I am not connecting as well this time around, and also not with any of the fall tracks, which I'm surprised about. But it's fine. I am so happy with Blank Space again, because that was definitely one of my favorite songs on this album. Yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm just not connecting as of right now, and I've talked about this before on this channel. I remember when Maxident from Stray Kids came out, I was not connecting to that album as much when it came out, because I was going through something in my life that had nothing to do with what's going on Mexident, and I think that's fine. Like, we have just seasons in life, and you can't always connect with everything as well, even though they might are your favorite artist. It's just what it is, and I think it's good. I'm just gonna wait till spring to replay this album again, and I'm just patiently waiting for Reputation Television because I don't think that era is very much me right now. Okay, let's talk about comics. More Than a Doll, or My Dress Up Darling, which is it more known for. So here's the thing. I declared somewhere in this video that I thought these people were seniors, the main characters. They are not. I feel a little bit weird about it, to be honest, that they are not. I mean, I watched the anime, but for some reason it didn't stick with me that they were 15. And I really wish that they were seniors, because that would have made them not minors. And I think there are some contents in this book that I am like, I'm not sure if this was the right move, if you know what I mean. I don't know, I really don't want to get into it too much because I've talked about it multiple times, I believe. This is the wrap up, and I have no clue because I haven't edited it yet. So yeah, I feel a bit weird with this manga. Overall, I really like the concept of the story. I like that we have a very shy male main character and a very not shy female character, even though, again, she is maybe a bit shy in different areas. But yeah, no. It's a no for me. I think I will not continue to read this manga onwards. Let's talk books then, because I have a lot to say about these books. Here's the thing. I started reading Every Exquisite Thing by Laura Steven right after her other book that came out first, The Society for Soulless Girls, and my opinions changed a little bit about this book after reading this book. And here's the thing. This book is based on... Oh yeah, now I have to say this classic. I will put it down here because I always forget how to pronounce it. Because for some reason, I don't know if you have a multilingual brain, every time when you want to say something, you sometimes have to translate it from a different language, and then you start to forget it while you're translating it, and then you don't know it at all. Anyway, this is definitely a softer, a lighter academia novel, story, compared to this one. But I liked that this one came out first, because if you read it in the way that when the author published something and you go through not her discography, her backlist, that's the word, when it comes down to books, I think it's the perfect way to start with this book that first came out, just because it's a lighter academia and it's a little bit softer. Like, you still have this very female empowerment, but it's more lovely, which this book is, wow. It's definitely has some sharp edges. I teared up a few times. Even talking about it, it makes me tear up, because the author, he just describes certain feelings of a woman so incredibly well, about beauty, about society, how society views a woman, but also being an actor. And I don't think I've ever talked about it on this channel, but I used to be an actress, and I had some tough times because I was gaining a lot of weight at the start of my career because I had some hormone problems. And if you might know, if you have some trouble with your hormones, it can cause that you gain a lot of weight even though you're not eating more, you're exercising a lot. It doesn't really matter, you gain the weight nevertheless. And I got shamed so incredibly much. So talking about weight, I think that's definitely a trigger warning. Luckily they say it before you read it. I actually listened to the audiobook of this book, and even in the audiobook they say trigger warnings. These are the trigger warnings. And I think it's very well put, because this book can come on very, very harsh if you did not expect it. And I am glad that I got the trigger warnings, because it definitely really reminded me of my time as an actress, and that I got shamed for me gaining weight, and that they said I'm losing beauty. It was some things that were really said to me. And I think the author really placed it well. This book is based on Dorian Gray, and I did not knew too much about that story, so it was completely new to me to dive into this story and start to understand this world. But even though I did not read the classic, I could tell which points were starting points from the classic and which were the author's perspective on it, and also letting the characters live in the new world that the author built. Wow. Honestly, she did it so well, and the characters really started to live for me, and I like that the author didn't make as many obvious choices in this book than in this book. So that's also why I would recommend to read this book first before this one, just because you can definitely tell how much the author has grown in just these books. Which makes me so excited, because Laura Steven, she has announced that she comes out with a new book in 2025, which is a very big publishing deal. Like, kudos to her. And I am freaking excited, because she has grown so much as an author. I've read all of her books, which came out in the YA and the more, I don't know, I still don't want to call this YA. But she has grown so much, and it is so nice to see. So her new book, I have so many expectations, but I also don't want them to get too high. But yeah, she is a force to be reckoned with, because Laura Steven definitely knows how to play with emotions. She understands the readers and her emotions so well, and she knows how to write them down. And I just don't want to say any more things about this book, because I like the element of surprise while reading this. Again, trigger warnings, but still, like, if you can handle those triggers, read it, because you will not be disappointed. I also think this is a perfect November read, so here we go. Anyway, this was it for this video. I am freaking excited about the next vlog, because that means that Stray Kids is having a comeback. And I cannot wait. I have so many thoughts and so many feelings already due to Skizflix and all the other content that they put out towards their new comeback. I hope to see you when the next vlog rolls around. But as of right now, I wish you a very nice day and goodbye.